friends, today is Black Friday, and today we're going to be going around stores filming and seeing what Black Friday deals we can find when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. Where we're starting off at is the Salisbury GameStop, which, fun fact, this is the very first GameStop that I had ever been. I've always considered this to be the best GameStop, especially when it comes to Switch stuff. I'm always able to find really good stuff here. So I figured it makes sense to come to this one first. You might be wondering why we're doing it a little bit later, because it's not first thing in the morning. I have woke up for Black Friday for 4 years, I think, in a row. I've had to wake up at 3, 4 a.m. to go work during Black Friday. So I really wanted to have a Black Friday where I could sleep in just a little bit longer than having to wake up at 4, because now we do this and I don't have to go back to the retail job where I was selling phones and stuff. So I really wanted to always do a video like this, but I've never had the opportunity to do something like this because I was always working Black Friday weekend and Black Friday day. And now we get to do that. So let's see what we can do. Hopefully the giant camera that we carry doesn't get noticed and we can make this video super awesome. Let's go inside. All right, so we're in here, we're looking at the Switch 2 games. Obviously, they have a lot of things on sale. The big thing that I was looking at is Little Nightmares 3. Obviously, this game's a little bit controversial. It's through a different development team. I think that's part of the reason why people don't like this game as much. But with it being on sale, 30 bucks I think is a price that I'm comfortable paying. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. GameStop has a really good deal where if you buy 2 new games, they will give you $10 off. So that's a pretty good deal that wasn't announced when I did my Black Friday guide video. But, I mean, there's so many good deals here. The Chronos The New Dawn, that's something that wasn't in my video. Walmart originally was the only one that was doing a sale on that game. But it's good to see that there's so many more deals that was announced since the last time I did that Black Friday guide video. So in terms of Switch 2 games, this is probably going to be the only thing that I pick up, but there's still so much here. And I mean, they have a good stock. I mean, they got the new Yakuzas pre-owned. I mean, that's pretty good considering that these games just came out, like a week ago? So yeah, that's a pretty good deal. We're going to look at the Switch 1 games, so let's see if we can find anything good there. All right, so one of the deals that they're doing is buy 2, get 1 free on all the pre-owned games. I'm not going to take advantage of that. I always wait till after Christmas to do the pre-owned deals because I feel like the games are just way better in terms of the selection. But something I wanted to point out, they have Jump Force. That's a little bit more of a harder to find Switch game because I believe all of it is on cartridge, including the DLC. So I think the Switch is actually the only way to play the DLC in terms of if you didn't own it already. So this is a delisted game, that's why it's a little high, but pretty cool to see because it's something you don't see too often. In terms of stuff that I'm looking at over here, I do see one that it's been on the lookout for me, and that is Soul Reaper right here. This is $20. I've been waiting for a sale. It was already a really good price at 30 bucks, but for 20 bucks, I think I'm definitely going to pick that up now, especially with the deal. If you get 2 new games, they automatically take $10 off. So we're looking at $40 right here for these 2 games, and that's just the price of Little Nightmares 3 is 40 bucks. So to get 2 games for 40, I think that's a very good deal. I'm still looking. There's a few other games that I was taking a look at. There's one that I'm stuck between right now. So this one is probably going to make a lot of people laugh. But I was looking at Poppy's Playtime. I'm a big horror fan, and I know people talk about these games. I doubt that they're good, but I want to give them a try. It's one that I was looking at, so I'm not 100% sure if we're going to go through with that or not. But I'm still looking around. We'll see if we can find anything cool. I found another one that I'm looking at right now. Garfield Kart 2. This game's already on sale. I've been wanting this game, but the reason why I haven't picked this up yet is because I was waiting for a sale. It was hard for me to justify paying, I think it was $50 is what this game was when it came out. So 30 bucks plus the GameStop deal that's going on, I think now makes more sense to buy this over the Poppy's Playtime. Poppy's Playtime retails for 40, so 30 isn't the craziest deal. I think we can find better on that. So I think Garfield Kart 2 is the game that we're going to be picking up. That means we got to find at least one more new game here. That way we can take full advantage of the saving an extra 10 bucks. So I'm going to look to find one more game out of the new Switch selection. Found a good one right here. This one comes from Devolver. This is Neva. This one is typically 35 bucks. I was waiting to pick this game up just because I knew eventually it would go on sale. Didn't know how much cheaper it would be since it was already a $35 physical copy. But I think this would be the perfect game to add on to our already stack of games, especially, again, the $10. I'm assuming it stacks. If not, this is going to be very awkward. Either way, I think this is the selection of games that I'm going to pick up. I am going to take a look at their retro selection while I'm here to see if we find anything cool. So I don't do too much into this stuff anymore, at least right now, because I'm waiting for the GameCube games to get cheaper. I feel like they're going to be a lot cheaper with the Nintendo Switch online service, games slowly being added to that. We've seen Chibi Robo go down a little bit since it's been added to the service, so I'm hoping that follows. So that's why you haven't seen me buy any GameCube games. But I'm sure a lot of people could take full advantage of this selection here because the buy two, get one free pre-owned section works on the retro stuff here. And there is a lot of stuff that you can find at GameStops. I don't know what everyone's retro selection looks like, but I know when I did a video in here before, everyone said that the selection here was amazing. And they got like DS games and 64 stuff right there in that cabinet. And yeah, I mean, I'm not picking up anything. I always like to still look because it's not every day that you find Resident Evil 4 inside of a GameStop. I mean, that's pretty cool. Either way, I think we've figured out what we're going to pick up. So let's go ahead and figure out what our total is going to be, which, you know, I don't think that's going to be too bad, especially with the $10. We're going to be saving an extra 20 bucks on top of this, so that's exciting. All right, so we just got out, paid a little over 90 bucks for these set of games. I truthfully thought that that was a pretty good deal, so very happy with that. I'm also pretty happy to know that the recording experience was pretty easy in there. I was nervous that something was going to go wrong just because I have filmed into this GameStop, but I haven't brought the giant camera in before, so I don't know how some people will react to that. The GameStop manager definitely saw me filming and had no problems with it, so that was good. I think because he probably realized that I was just showing the games, not talking to customers, stuff like that. So you can film in GameStops as long as you do it the right way, which is, you know, filming the games, stuff like that. So good to know that that worked out. Now we are going to Winston-Salem, which is about 45 minutes away, I think, from Salisbury. We're going to hit Best Buy, Target, and we might go to another GameStop just for fun. We've pretty much got everything that I wanted to at GameStop though. I don't really think I'm going to be buying much anymore at GameStop. There was a few things that I saw at Best Buy that we'll see if they still have. But yeah, glad to finally show this GameStop off in a video. This is my favorite GameStop, and I'm glad that filming in there didn't mess anything up because I do not want to mess up the relationship at this GameStop. Like I'm saying, this is literally the best GameStop ever. But let's go to Winston. I think we're going to Best Buy is probably where we're going next. So that's going to be chaotic. All right, so we have arrived to Best Buy, and as you can see, they are very, very busy, which I'm honestly not really surprised. I expected them to be busy. I don't really know what to expect. I'm trying to remember some of the deals. I think some of the things that I was looking at, we might have just picked up. Maybe the Poppy's Playtime might be cheaper. I feel like I saw Walmart might have that for 15 bucks. So we might see if I can find that for there. But we're gonna go in, we're gonna see what they have, see if we can find anything crazy, and see if we can witness the craziness of Best Buy. Because this is always, I would say, probably the more popular places that people go to on Black Friday. So let's go inside. All right, so we're here at the Switch 2 selection. Not too many deals over here. I mean, they got like the Madden 26. If you guys remember, I said that Best Buy was probably gonna be the best bet in terms of buying all the sports titles for the Switch 2. They do have the AI video game here. This is a anime game. I don't care too much about this. Maybe this is something I would have liked in the future, but I'm gonna wait on that. I know that that's been like a popular one people have been picking up this Black Friday, but in terms of the Switch 2 stuff, everything that's over here, I already have. Now we're gonna check out their Switch 1 games momentarily, but something I wanted to point out is they do have the two Meteoroid amiibos right here. I was struggling to find them. I'm not buying them right now. I'm sure they're not hard to find because of how expensive they are. They're probably not being sold. But when I was visiting GameStops and stuff, I couldn't find them. So it's cool to see that they have them all right here. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Switch 1 games. Editor Max here. Guys, I have to sneak this in. We are really, really close to 25,000 subscribers. If for whatever reason you're not subscribed and really do enjoy the content, I would greatly appreciate it. I would love to hit 25K before I go back to New Jersey, which is in like 2 weeks. So if we could hit that, I'd greatly appreciate it. If not, that is okay. I know you guys are waiting to see these crazy deals, so let's get back and see what Best Buy has. Just something that I wanted to point out. In my Black Friday video, I said when it comes to the Nintendo stuff, I would maybe wait on buying some of it until actual Black Friday dates, because a lot of these stores are going to have wiggle room to compete, because they're going to want to make sure you buy it at their store over somewhere else. And one of those things were amiibos. It was advertised that the amiibos would have $10 savings. So as you see, the Street Fighter 6 amiibos, normally those are 40 bucks. They were supposed to be on sale for 30, but they're actually now on sale for $15. And the Zelda Breath of the Wild ones, or the Tears of the Kingdom ones, the new ones, those are on sale for $10. So I just wanted to show that, hey, my video was valid on maybe waiting on some of this Nintendo stuff, because we've also seen Best Buy sell certain games cheaper than what they originally advertised. So thought that that was really cool. We're waiting to get to the Switch games. There's a line, but that's okay. Wanted to show off the amiibos. No, we didn't have the greatest angle because we have this giant box right here. They got stuff everywhere. It is packed in Best Buy. Stuff literally everywhere. Just to show you, we found one of the Zelda ones for 10 bucks right here. It's the last one. Luckily, I already have all the Zelda amiibos, but you can see the tag was right here, right at 10 bucks. So that is a pretty good deal. That's probably one of the better Black Friday deals in terms of saving a lot of money, considering that this was 30 bucks and the Street Fighter ones were 40. All right, so I'm pretty sure Best Buy might have got rid of a lot of their Switch 1 games, because this whole section used to be all just be Switch 1 games. I don't know if they're moved around for Black Friday, but like amiibos didn't used to be here, for example. So I don't know what's up with that. That's a little weird. So I'm not actually seeing too much. I do see one thing that I am honestly really considering, because this is very close to the price point that I wanted this at. That game is none other than the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. I've wanted this game for a while. I was gonna get it last year, but it's just a little bit too expensive. 60 bucks I felt like was a lot. This game recently, or not recently, probably like 2 or 3 months ago, just got a Switch 2 update, and I eventually want to get into the Dragon Quest 1 through 2 game that just came out on the Switch 2 recently. But from my understanding, at least the way that Square Enix has been promoting it, you actually have to play the third game first, which doesn't make sense to me since it's called 1 through 2. But it might be some sort of like prequel, kind of like Red Dead Redemption 2 is the prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1. I don't know. $35 is very close to where I wanted it to be. 30 bucks is like the ideal price range. So I'm really thinking about this one. I don't know. We're going to see. In terms of anything else that I'm seeing, I really don't see much more, to be completely honest. Best Buy had a lot more Switch games online, but I think they got rid of a lot of their Switch games, at least at this store. So I might look around to see if I find anything else. I'll let you guys know if I end up with this game right here. All right, so I'm leaving Best Buy. I might be coming back later today. I won't show it on camera if I do. But I passed on getting Dragon Quest for right now because I was doing some research. I saw GameStop has it for the same price. So what my mindset is, we're going to Target. There's a GameStop right beside the Target. I was thinking, hey, if I could get it same price at that GameStop, maybe I'll find another game, get an additional $10 off. That was my mindset. I don't know if that's the correct mindset. If this GameStop doesn't have the game, then, well, I should have got it here, of course. And then if I come back here and the Dragon Quest is sold out, I'm just going to look at it as it was not meant to be for me to pick up Dragon Quest today, which is totally fine. Let's first go to Target, see how crazy that's going to be. Then we're going to circle back to GameStop in Winston, and yeah, so that's going to be very interesting. So let's go ahead and head to Target now. All right, guys, we have arrived to Target, which I'm going to be honest, in my opinion, I don't feel like they're that busy. And the reason why I say that is we're at the exact same parking spot that we are always at when we film our trying out games early videos, like at the Switch 2 kiosks. So I don't feel like this is that bad. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think this is bad. This looks like everyday Target to me. So let's go ahead and check Target inside. And then right beside the Target, right over there, is a GameStop. So I figured we'd go at the GameStop, like we said, talk about and see if we can find Dragon Quest over there. And maybe we'll find more games there. I don't really know. Let's see how Target's looking. I hope Target has Pokemon cards. Probably not, though. If they did have Pokemon cards, they are probably sold out by now. So let's go inside Target and see what we can find. Alright, so we made it into Target. One thing that I'm noticing is Target doesn't actually have their stickers out in terms of showing off the Black Friday deals. If you look around here, it's all just the regular price that they sell the stuff at if there's not a sale. So I don't know if they put stuff in a separate area. I know the deals are active. I don't know if this is like a ploy for them to download like the Target app essentially to look at the prices. Because I do know that people do things like that. Like Walmart got rid of their price checking thing inside of stores because they want people to download the Walmart app. So I don't know if that's a system that they're putting into here. And then, you know, you got your Switch 2 stuff right over here. Honestly, the only thing that I was looking at that I thought Target had on sale, I could be wrong, I thought was Sweet, or buy Sweet Carol. But I was also thinking about it probably makes more sense to buy that at GameStop because they also have it on sale as well. So we're going to look around. I'm going to see if there's any other spot that like advertises their Switch deals. But so far, I'm not seeing much. And it also kind of looks like they haven't really sold much. And I bet they haven't sold much here because no one knows the prices unless you did research before coming here, of course. So yeah, kind of surprised by this. All right, so I am heading to the GameStop now. There really wasn't much at that Target. I was kind of surprised that they don't advertise their deals. They were advertising the PlayStation deals, Xbox deals, everything else but the Nintendo stuff, which I thought was really weird. But let's check out this GameStop. Let's see if we can find something really cool at this store. All right, so we've arrived to GameStop. Their selection is a little bit smaller, but the good news is they do have, oh wait, that is actually not the correct Dragon Quest game. Never mind. I don't think they have it. That is really awkward. I was hyping that up to then just realize it was Dragon Quest 1 through 2. That is pretty embarrassing. I'm going to keep this in though because I'm sure a lot of y'all are going to find that funny, but I'm going to look around. I don't think they actually have what we're looking for. They don't even have, do I want Little Kitty Big City? No, not for 35 bucks, I don't. That's just its regular retail price. Well, that is unfortunate. I really thought for a second we had it there, and then I picked up the game and realized all of that changed in the span of seconds. I don't think I've ever had something so embarrassing happen before on this channel, like that at least. Wow. I'm gonna look around. This is the other selection, which they have some of their Switch 1 newer games mixed in with the Switch 2. I noticed that this GameStop does that. I don't know what the idea behind it is, but a lot of this is the stuff that's on sale. You got things like Lego Party, which is a game I want to get at some point. We got that game, Mario and Luigi Brothership. Has to be one of the worst Nintendo Switch games, in my opinion. That's a hot take, it sounds like, to people in the comments when I said that, but I thought that game was garbage. But not really seeing anything else here that's catching my eye. They do have some pre-owned games right here, like Mario Kart World. It's kind of crazy to see that game be $75 pre-owned. and it makes sense that it's 75 since it's an $80 game. But just seeing a pre-owned game, like a new pre-owned game at 75 bucks is just kind of crazy to see. Something that I'm gonna have to get used to probably at some point because we're gonna see more of that most likely. But yeah, I think we're about done at this GameStop, so I won't be picking up anything this time. But hey, still good stuff here, especially this late into the day of Black Friday. A lot of good deals. All right, guys, we are at our final stop. I figured this one makes a lot of sense. This is Walmart, but this just isn't any Walmart. This is the Walmart that I used to work at. Now, I didn't work for Walmart. A lot of people think I did work for them, but I worked for a company that was a vendor inside of a Walmart where we did the cell phones. So I was like that annoying person that, like, if you were walking into electronics, I would bug you about buying a phone. So I thought it'd be cool to visit the stomping grounds that I used to work at for 4 years and see the deals that they got going and just experience it since, as a customer rather than someone working there. I don't know. This is kind of a crazy moment, not gonna lie. I've made it to the Walmart section of Nintendo Switch games. Something that I'm also noticing is they're not advertising their prices, so you really have to use the app to see what deals there are. But they have a nice selection of stuff going on. They got the Final Fantasy Tactics. That's a new game that just recently came out. Not a part of any promotion or anything like that, but something that I noticed is they do have the Poppy's Playtime down here, which is supposed to be 15 bucks at Walmart. So that's an even better deal than what we were gonna pay at GameStop. So I'm gonna see about that. But in terms of anything else, really not seeing anything too crazy over here. I wish I could have shown you the actual deals, but for whatever reason, their prices are not shown up. I know that the Sonic game right here, this one is considered a doorbuster. They're selling it for $30 now. That one was a deal that just got announced extremely last minute because GameStop originally was the only people doing a Sonic deal, which they were selling it for 45 bucks. Walmart has actually done pretty well this year. They did a lot of last minute things that I think now people are suggesting that maybe Walmart was the best place for Switch stuff when it comes to Black Friday. So with that being said, I don't think I'm gonna pick up anything other than Poppy's Playtime. If they have the Dragon Quest game, I might see if it's on sale. I don't think they have it. They have 1 through 2, but not the third one. That's all good. I'm gonna ask about this Poppy's Playtime, and then we will see you guys momentarily. So it was around this time exactly 1 year ago when I had completed my Black Friday shift last year. And the last 10 minutes was really weird. I felt like it was going to be my last Black Friday I had ever worked. And I couldn't really explain it because nothing was really in the direction for me to say, hey, I would not be working Black Fridays anymore or be in this job anymore, but something was telling me that that was going to happen when I was walking out this store last year. And the only person I had told that to was my mom. And so I never publicly said that anywhere. So I don't know how many people are going to believe that, but it is kind of weird to walk out these doors once again exactly 1 year later after feeling that moment of like this was it. I can't really describe it. I still can't really describe it, but I figured, I have my game right here. I'm leaving as a customer, but not as an employee this time. And it's really weird to close off Black Friday shopping like this, ending it where I used to work a year ago.